ain't on the test with your host Brandyn and Beth. This ain't on the test. This ain't on the test. This ain't on the test with your host Brandyn and Beth. And beep, 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 beep.
Hey.
Welcome black, welcome black, welcome black.
It's us. We back and we black.
It is. Welcome back to your favorite teacher podcast. This ain't on the test with your host Brandyn and Beth.
It's
How y'all
us.
doing?
It's us. Hey, Brandyn.
Hey, mama.
Hey, Brandyn. How you doing, girl?
Girl, I'm good tonight. I'm chilling.
Come on. So it's not the Sunday scaries.
I have no Sunday scaries. My Sundays are not scared. We ain't
Come
never
on.
scared. What?
Come on. Come
We ain't
on.
never scared. Who?
Come on.
Okay.
I love
How
it.
about you?
I'm relaxing. I had a very interesting Sunday. You know, you can't plan for everything, but when you kind of are not stressed, when unexpected things pop up, you just handle it. So I just handled it. That's what I did.
Very good point. You're able to just handle things when you have already released so much other stressors.
See what I'm
so many
saying?
other
When you open up
stressors.
your hand and release some stuff, you can grab some stuff if you need to. But also,
Word.
word. Oh,
Word.
Come on.
Message.
And I had hand movements for y'all that's listening. You should be watching because I had hand movements and everything.
Message. Yes. Well, girl, before we get into today's episode is parking lot camping.
What you call
And
it?
parking lot. Today's episode is parking lot camping. Okay.
Hey.
We have some teachers that have written in some questions and they have been sitting in our parking lot and we're going to answer those questions today.
Come on.
Might not get to all of them, but that is our goal. And before we get into it, everybody, you know we got to kick it off with the ground rules.
Oh,
Go ahead and hit
my
them with the ground
goodness.
rules, mama.
I'm here for the ground rules because in this space, we rep the culture. We respect, we educate, and we protect the culture. But you might
REP.
ask, what you said?
REP.
REP. But you might say, what, pray tell, is the culture? So I'm going to tell you. The culture is who we are, what we are, why we are, how we are, and because we are. It's everything that we are. The melanin in our skin, the beauty in our smile, the strength in our walk, the rhythm in our movement, everything that we are. And all of that needs to be respected. You don't come at our teachers, you don't come at our students just any kind of way. We need to be educated. So much potential lies in our DNA, and we need to educate that thing and allow our next generation to be whatever it is they've been called to be. And then we need to protect that culture. We're going to bubble wrap that thing and keep it safe from all hurt, harm, and danger in this space. We rep the culture.
Rep the culture, baby.
Rep the culture. Yes.
Yes. Now, we would not be a teacher podcast. We would not be your teacher besties if there wasn't a listening objective.
Come on
So,
then.
again, as a reminder, today's episode is parking lot camping. And this is one of those summative lessons, you know, that you do
on.
right before the assessment day.
Come on.
Okay. Now, the things we went over ain't on the test, but we still going to review and make sure you prepare. So, by the end of today's episode, listeners will be able to pick out pieces of advice that perfectly align with their individual needs. By the end of today's episode, listeners will be able to pick out pieces of advice that perfectly align with their personal needs. Okay?
I love it. So what you
if it
basically
applies
saying,
to you,
take what you need.
take
Dig
what you
inside, take
need.
what you need, and leave the rest for the other people. Take what you
That's
need.
it.
That's
That's
it.
it. That's all. Okay.
I'm excited. Let's go. I'm
Okay,
excited.
so let's get into it. Oh, let me
I'm
fix my
excited.
light. Okay, they
Look at
said it
you.
works. My melanin wasn't melanated the way that I wanted it
You
to.
got to glow.
Okay.
Let your soul glow.
Oh, dang. There's a generational gap because I was singing Glow by Victoria Monet. Oops.
Well, and there it is. And there it is.
Okay. Oh, well. Okay. Cute, 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 cute. All right. So
Uh-huh.
we have several questions here from different teachers around the country who have been listening to our podcast and have some lingering questions that maybe we didn't
Mhm,
hit that nail right on the head for. So
mhm.
this first question, Mama, is from Miss Johnson in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, for
Mhm.
all of our listeners out there, people have adjusted their names, given us fake names. They might have even given us fake cities for all we know, but we just want to respect their privacy. This is the information they told us we could say.
That's all we
Okay?
saying.
All righty. We're digging in.
Dig
It's time
in.
for parking lot pimping.
Big Pimpin, spans and cheese. Hey.
Mm, on the LADs. Okay.
Hey.
Our first question comes from Miss Johnson in Atlanta, Georgia.
Mhm, mhm.
Georgia. And
Georgia.
she says, I love my kids, but baby, how do you keep showing up when the district keeps moving the goalposts? I'm tired, tired.
Mm-mm. Listen, Miss
So what
Johnson,
can
you
we
said?
do? This is Miss Johnson down in the Atlanta in the A.
Listen, Miss Johnson, girl, every teacher worth their salt understands just when you think you met the goal, they pick up the whole field and move it. You just on the outside, you ain't even in the field no more. It's something different. So I feel you on that. I really do. But I'm gonna ask my kid first. Brandon, what do you think Miss Johnson ought to do about it?
My thing is always stick to the standards. The way that they want people to address the standards, or assess the standards rather, that often shifts. But at least in well, at least where I'm at, the standards very rarely change unless you're a social studies teacher. They keep writing new ones of those. But the standards very rarely change. And if you make sure that kids can see it, touch it, do it, speak it, you know what I mean? Whatever it is that your content is, if they know the vocabulary of it, they know the proper situations to apply the proper tools. It doesn't matter what the district does, your scholars will always be ready. Now, that's not an easy thing to do to address standards, like, especially when you have so many standards you have to address in 1 year to be able to hit every single aspect of it like that. But that's really how I can kind of relieve some of the stressors. Is like, did I prepare my scholars to leave me knowing what I know that they need to know? Then I did the
Love
right
that
thing.
answer. Love that answer. For me, I agree with you 100% that if you stick to the standards, how they want it presented is a pretty easy fix if you just stick to teaching the standards and
Mhm.
making sure they can do the verb, that whatever the verb is in the standard, that they meet the need, that they can actually meet the need of the standard. And for me, but I got a little bit of an attitude because veteran teacher. So so I'm just saying, you can't come to me on Monday and tell me to do something completely different for Friday because I'm going to politely tell you I don't believe I'm going to be able to do that. But for the next go round, I got you or whatever you want. It's kind of like I'm in the middle of a dismount coming off the parallel bars, think gymnastics. And while I'm doing two flips in the air, you say, oh, wait, we need you to do four. Well, let me finish this flip and hit the ground. And by the time I hit the ground, before I hit the ground, you said do something different. And I'm like, baby, wait. The next time I get back up, I got you on the backwards flip instead of the forward flip. I got you. But I can't stop in mid flip. I'll harm myself. So that's kind of how I would approach it. It's like, I got you on the next one. I can't really help you right this second. I really cannot. And I would say it honestly.
You bring up a good point. A lot of time teachers are so like we are told what to do. We're never asked, we're never advised. We don't get any input. There's just a lot of people who don't understand the logistics that go into the decisions that they make, coming and telling us what they need to see
Right.
happen. And a lot of teachers don't think that they have the place or the right to speak up and say, like, hey, I'm not going to do that. Like, your
Right.
job is to protect your scholars and to prepare your scholars. And you have to be on the front line of that. And you have to be a consummate professional enough to stand 10 toes down the same way a surgeon would. Like, the office administrator of the hospital can't come to the operating room and be like, actually, I wanted you to do a whipple. You're like, no. I'm in the middle of something right here,
I was
actually.
in the middle. Yeah, I was
I'm
in the middle.
already doing something, but maybe when the next patient gets to me for the next surgery, we can discuss that beforehand. But right now, I'm in the middle of something. And I think we have to be able to respect ourselves in that same manner.
Right, because there are no children teachers. There are no teachers that are only 7 or 9 years old. Every
No.
educator has a college degree. There's some
Mm-hmm.
form of adult. There are a 22-year-old adult, there are a 40-year-old adult, there are a 60-year-old adult, but there's nobody there who's a child. And so
Right.
you have to stand in your adulthood and say, I get it. We are changing the way it's got to look. I'm on board.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't do what I can't do. And so I think that that's something that we have to get more confident in is the ownership of your intelligence and your position. Own it. And that's something that we haven't been able to do up until now. So
Yeah.
that's what we got for you. Miss Johnson. Was that
Miss
Miss Johnson?
Johnson.
That's what we got for you, Miss Johnson.
We hope
Hope it
that
help
helps Miss Johnson, girl.
hope it help you, girl.
All right. Our next question comes from Mr. Rivera down in Houston, Texas.
Texas.
Yes, this ain't Texas. Ain't no hold on. So lay your cards down, 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 down. Okay, guys, focus.
Sorry.
How do you handle classroom management without feeling like the villain every day? I'm trying to be fair but firm, not
Oh.
feared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm. Fair but firm, not feared. What you got for Mr. Rivera?
My first thing is if you have consistent rules and regulations that you are following, that all parties are aware of, even if they fear you, they won't fear the classroom, if that makes sense. Some
Mm,
students just fear discipline and order because it's new to them, not because they're feel like they're going to be harmed. It's because it's something new. They're trepidatious of it, and
mm,
because they don't have any structure anyplace else. So that's the pushback a lot. But you have to be fair and consistent. You can't be my best friend today and then screaming and yelling at me like a lunatic tomorrow. So you should never go to any extremes and you won't have an issue. I think that I like to have a classroom constitution a lot when I was in a
mm,
classroom that the children and I would make together. So they had some input as to what they think a good classroom looked like. And so we're in this together. It's ours. I'm the queen and the president of the room. But you also are like the Congress. You got something to say, but I got the final say. And so when we work together, it doesn't seem like I'm just making up things as I go along, and I can always point to it. It would be posted up on a wall somewhere. So I could always point to it and say, "Oh, no, that's number 12, Mom. You know better." So there's not a conversation. So there's not an argument. It is what it is. Today is today. And you can't
mhm,
argue and say it's yesterday. You might want to tell me it's yesterday, but you won't because we know it's today. So if we have the rules written and everybody has them and we're all aware of them together, we've taken the time to go over them. I don't think that you're going to be feared because it will be fair. Even if it's your favorite student who got in trouble, they get the same consequences that one that everybody know you can't stand. And when it's fair, I don't think that anybody really argues about it. They may not love it, but they're not mad at it. So I think that's where you get that, is that you have to have it written, make it consistent, and be consistent on how you apply it. That's my 2
mhm.
cents.
Um, love those 2 cents. Taking them,
Okay.
pocketing them,
Come
okay?
on.
Putting them towards the
Mhm.
bill. Um, I agree. And I think we talked about this in the
We
What's the
did.
Procedure episode where I
Mhm.
was like, data ends all conversations. And when expectations are clear, there's nobody playing a villain role. There's just one person. There shouldn't even be just one person that's in charge of holding everyone accountable. Your students should be holding each other accountable because in a truly distinguished classroom, um, the agreements, those are agreements that you've made as a class community, you as the leader and your students as peer facilitators in the space, have
Uh-huh.
all agreed on those rules and those expectations. And you've also gone through what it looks like, sounds like, feels like you've gone through those things. So it can't just be something that's blanket. Because I've seen a lot of beginning teachers, a lot of teachers in general, where it'll be like respect or be kind. That's not a real classroom rule. Because what does respect look like? That is so, it can have so many different
Right.
variances.
It's so
I like
ambiguous.
for, yeah, I like for scholars to get up and like, okay, so then show me what respect looks like. How do we respectfully get in line? How do we respectfully pass out pencils? Like, because it can be different. Respect isn't just we don't fight at recess, but it's also we don't call each other slow in the classroom. Like, respect has to, I have to have them like act those things out.
Right.
Um, that helps a lot because kids don't like ambiguity. It makes it too difficult. They want to make sure that they are, like, kids don't necessarily want to be wrong. They want to get recognized for doing the right thing. They just want the right thing to be very clear. Because any type of gray area, kids are opportunists. So any type of gray area, that's an
Uh-huh.
opportunity for them to explore some new thing that you had no intentions for them to do. Um,
Yes,
so
yes, yes.
alleviate that gray area makes things a lot clearer, makes things very fair, makes you not have to be feared because all of you have negotiated those things together, those murky, unclear waters. I would also say classroom management is not about punishment and it's not about discipline. Classroom management should be a positive behavior intervention system.
BIS.
It should be another way that you are teaching scholars. You're teaching them life skills, you're teaching them conflict resolution, and you are acknowledging when they do something really great by rewarding them for the great things that they did. And you're holding them accountable when they're making mistakes, and you're actually actively teaching them how to do the thing better. It shouldn't just be my classroom runs like this and we all silent and we all get the pencil. I- They should understand the impact they have on the classroom community and why behaving certain ways impacts others in different ways. Does that make sense?
You said such something so, so important. It all did make sense, and I agree
Okay.
1,000% with everything you said. As the classroom management is not just about punishing people when they're wrong. It is absolutely not. It is about celebrating when it runs well.
Yeah.
As a making sure it runs well. I think of classroom management kinda like my car. I did not punish my engine when it wasn't working right, like, "I hate your engine. You're the stupidest engine in the world." I didn't. I just tried to make sure I kept oil in the car, and I kept gas in it, and I drove it like it's supposed to drive, and I treated all of the car like I and when it got me someplace, I was excited, and I named my car, and I was like, "Oh, Sylvie, you so cool. You got me where I was going," because it's a silver Jeep, so I named it Sylvie. So Sylvie got me where I was going. I appreciate her because she didn't have to. But she did. I appreciate you. So I do the same thing with my kids. Like, oh, y'all came in just perfectly today. Look at y'all. Y'all cleaned up. Appreciate it. I acknowledge when they do the right thing. I call out the wrong thing, but I don't harp on it because it's so
Right.
obvious because the majority of my kids are doing the right thing that the other kids will begin to call them on it. Oh man, we don't throw stuff on the ground in here. That's in Miss So-and-so class. We throw stuff all over the ground. We don't throw stuff on the ground in Miss Jones' class. They'll police each other because the
Hmm.
expectation has been set, and I celebrate so much when the right thing is done that everybody won't get celebrated, and that's when you alleviate the fear, when you lean towards the celebration of correctness.
Yeah. Oh gosh, we're good at this.
We so sweet. We not just pretty.
Who else? Somebody else want to ask us something? Oh
Go on,
wait,
come
here's
on, go on, go
another.
on, go on.
Okay, this is Miss Daniels from Detroit,
Mhm.
Michigan.
Hey, Miss
Look at girl, we are
Daniels.
everywhere. They listen to us all
Listen
over the
us,
place.
we got a wide reach.
Oh,
Come
girl, like
on,
what
you.
you doing over there? Okay, so Miss Daniels in Detroit
Mhm.
said, "Oh, a first year teacher." Okay, they said, "As a
Okay.
first year teacher,
Uh-huh.
I'm struggling to find a mentor who actually gets me. How do I build community when everyone seems burned out?" Mm.
Ooh, Lord. Can I kick this
Mm.
can I kick this one off?
Please
When
do. Please. Yes.
so many times, first year teachers especially, God bless us, we've all been first year teachers. So that's something about teaching. Everybody had to start. So everybody's been a first year teacher. Everybody's been completely confused. So everybody can give you something to say about it. Everybody has
Mhm.
at least one positive bit of information. I find that a lot of teachers that want to mentor look for the perfect teacher to mentor them. He or she does not exist. What you need is the person that is perfect in that thing that they do.
Mm.
All right. So, like, Miss A might be amazing at getting them students on task. Every time you go, that they got these routines for getting their stuff together and getting it like, how do they get the class started so well? Now that her data might be terrible. They might not know nothing. They might not know a thing, but they are excellent at getting the students organized and settled and not wasting that first. Hey, Miss A, can you teach me what you're doing? Can I watch what you're doing? Can you give me some help? Can you come watch me? I don't need you to show me how to teach nothing because you don't seem to know things. Now, I'm going to say that in my head. But, what you can't do is decide that you're going to emulate a whole nother person. You
Yeah.
take what you need and you leave the rest because there are so many teachers that might not be great at everything, but they're really excellent at something. And you'll also grow your community by recognizing that something because administration is really only going to notice the thing that they suck at, basically. And so they're going
Uh-huh.
to get told what they've done wrong and how to get better. But when you come and say, can you show me how you keep your room so neat? Because my room looked like somebody came through and had 5 fights by the end of the day. What are you doing to get, and they'll become your champion because you see something in them that other people have ignored. So it works both ways. So you're not going to find somebody that you can just Velcro yourself to and emulate because you want to be your own teacher. But you find people along your trails that have
Mhm.
things that you can collect. You're like a connoisseur of good teaching habits and you collect them along the way. Connoisseur of good teaching habits.
Girl, you ate that up. No, no.
Because I was like,
What's 4 plus
wait a
4?
minute. Wait a
8.
minute. What you got?
Nothing, girl. Dang, you did it. No, like I feel so similar to this is so crazy. Yes, I definitely feel that. I feel like you build your community definitely by like highlighting people's strengths. And I think that teaching is so multifaceted, that there's going to be different things that you need assistance with and you go to the expert in that thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree. Um, I would also say that finding another way to build community is finding people who like philosophically have
Mm.
like the same pedagogy as you. Cause sometimes it'll be somebody in a completely different grade, completely different subject than you, but y'all view education the same way and you view what kids need the same way. I'm in a very, some would say niche approach to education in my program that I currently work with because it's all project based and it's all experiential and it's all interdisciplinary. And not everybody believes that that is the right way or a good way, even a feasible way for scholars who have shown to be behind when it comes to standardized testing. To take them out of the building for 3 to 6 hours a week seems antithetical to getting the scores up. And so those are people who it's I can't always build community with them because we
Mm.
like at the root of education don't believe the same
Right,
things.
right.
Um so find people who also like believe the way that you do. That's another way of finding great mentors and great community people to help you stay in the game when you feel burnt out, because at least you guys can see the same type of beauty in education. And other people might not see that.
I love that. I love that. And also, lastly, is that it's 2025. Your community might not be in your building. You may have to
True.
reach out online. And there's
Mhm.
so many groups on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. There are so many different Black educators, D9 educators, first year
Yes.
educators. There are so many that are, and so find the things that speak to you and
Mhm.
explore the groups. Reach out. I've met people in that way that I've become friends with. We may never ever see each other face to face, but there are people that I can FaceTime with, that I can text, and we can get conversation. And I guess I could go visit them if I felt the need.
Yeah,
But
and
at
go to
least I know they're there.
conferences.
And go, oh, please, especially baby teachers, first, second, third, fourth, fifth year
Yeah.
teachers. Go because you'll find out that there are people that think like you. They may not
Yeah.
be in your building. There are people that think like you and think that you're really cool, and
And they
sometimes you don't get that.
and you get inspired, you get these little bursts, like, it's one way that to avoid burnout is going and finding little pockets of places that can help reinvigorate your spark,
Yeah.
and conferences are a great way to do that, where you get this one session or you get this one keynote speaker that just was
Mhm,
like, "Oh, I can't wait to go do that new thing with my kids," and, like, it helps keep
mhm.
you going, and then you find people who are also excited about that thing because it's
Right.
exhausting to talk to people who hate their job all the time.
Yeah.
I
Stay away from them.
I don't wanna do that. I don't wanna be miserable with you. I like
I
my job.
run from them. I really okay?
Yeah.
Run from them because you ain't gonna just make me sad with you. I don't want to.
Yeah, I like my job, so we hope that helps, Miss Daniels.
Miss
Um,
Daniel. You got time
Miss
for one more?
Daniels. One more?
One
Okie dokie
more.
artichokey.
Pick a good
Um,
one.
this question from DC is kinda similar to one that we've had before, so I'm gonna come
Okay.
down to, let's go to Mrs.
Do-do-do-do.
Taylor in Chicago, Illinois.
Chi-town.
Yes, stand up. So Mrs. because they put the MRS, okay, Misters on
Mrs.
here. Okay,
She
so
said, "I'm
respect.
married. I'm married.
That's Murray
I'm married."
now. Okay. Mrs. Taylor said, "Can we talk about guilt? Every time I take a day off, I feel like I'm letting my students down, even when I'm
Oh my.
sick or exhausted."
Mm-mm.
Poor
Mm-mm.
Mrs. Taylor.
Mrs. Taylor, we don't all felt that thing right there. We have all gone to work, have we?
Yeah.
We have all left a partner at
Yeah.
home who said, "I know you lying. You going to work like that." I'ma be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Once I
You
get
wanna go
moving, it'll be
I said, "The fever's not even that high. You know, my leg is not really broken, so it's alright. It's
oh
okay."
god. I ain't even gotta
Yeah.
walk nowhere. I could just stay in my chair.
I just roll in this chair. It's
Uh-uh.
fine. It's fine. I ain't threw up in 2 hours. I
Girl.
think I can pick it.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
Ooh.
The guilt is hard, and we've talked about this in some of our earlier episodes as well. Like
Yeah.
the guilt, it's difficult because your babies mean a lot to
The world.
you. Um, their growth means a lot to you. And
Their
when you've built
safety.
a functioning classroom, yeah. And when you've built a functioning classroom, it feels like family. A well-run classroom feels like it has its own energy to it. Um, and they're yours for 8 to 10 hours. They really are they're yours. And can't nobody do it the way you can do it. And you already know if somebody else go in there, it just ain't gonna land the way. And you know how your kids be when this and that and the third. So it's difficult. Um, my advice though is to remind yourself that the only way that you can let your students down is if you can't show up. Not if you can't be there, if you can't show up. If you are not well enough to be the Mrs. Taylor that the students know and love, if you're not well enough to give the amount of percent that you need to give, then don't go. It's okay. Like, take care of yourself enough to give them the Mrs. Taylor that you think they deserve. Letting them down would be selling them short.
That part. That part. That's excellent. That's excellent. You're smart. Your mom raised you well. You're smart.
Oh my gosh.
I just want to say, I would add to that, to assuage that guilt that every good teacher who loves being in
I
that
have
classroom with
never
those
known
kids
how to pronounce that
feels.
word.
You're welcome. Um, every
Thank you.
teacher who feels that way, to help you out with that is to have really good emergency lesson plans. The first week of the school year, you need to create 3 days worth of really decent but rather ambiguous so they can go at any point during the school year. I just had like puzzles and stuff, but you need to have something with a little notes. I would add notes throughout the year to my emergency lesson plans. Notes like, Johnny, I need you to act right while I'm out. Susan, I know you're gonna hand out the papers for me. Hold it down. So I would have little notes that, 'cause as I got to know their personalities, who was insane and who was a leader, because I don't want to come back to a bunch of students being written up. I don't want to come back to that note on my desk. This child, this class is the class from hell. I don't never want to be here no more. I don't want that. So I had little personal notes for my kids that I would just start writing as I learn it and just drop it into a folder. And so it was a emergency folder. It's all right here. Give the kids their notes. And that really helped because um, I have learned that if you go in sick, you're not helping anyone because the children, if you love them that much, they love you in return. So now they don't want to go to no other class. Now they don't want to act right. Now they want to be in your face because they think you're sick. So now they sick too. So it's not as helpful as we really think it is. I thought I was being helpful
Yeah.
when I came to school with strep. That is a true story. I had strep throat, but it was right before the eighth grade math test. And if you know anything about middle school, eighth grade math test carries all the scores. So I was like, oh, I can't miss it. They need this review. I literally had strep throat and I came in anyway. So you know what happened? 5 of my boys missed the test the next day because they had strep throat. I don't know how that was helping. But in my head, I thought, I can do it. I can come in. So now they had strep and had to take it later anyway. So I could have just stayed home. And that didn't help at all. So you can't feel guilty about being human. And you don't teach children to honor themselves if you're not honoring yourself. Because everything we do is
Yeah.
educational, including how we rest, how we relax, how we find joy, and how we take care of ourselves. Because there's nothing worse than children coming to school
Yeah.
when they're sick. I mean, like, why would you come in here and
Yes.
risk all 25 people being sick? Why would you do that? What kind of parents do you have that would send you? And then here you come, snotting
Sick
and
as a
leaking
dog.
and fever. Okay. And so it's going to be all right. No, no, it's not. So I need you to think about it that way, Mrs. I need you to think about that because obviously you're married to somebody who cared enough to give you their name. You should care enough to take care of that person that they love too. Because you're not just a teacher, you're a whole human being. And so keeping those things in mind,
Yes.
really good, um, a really good lesson plan, a really good emergency lesson plan is something that I think we've gotten away from because everything's online. But you really need to give them something. And those little notes really help to let the craziest calm down because you thought about them. And
The
are you
notes
feeling fancy? Hmm? Go ahead.
The notes
What were you
are a
gonna say?
real thing. Even as a tech-friendly teacher, I would leave them a Google Classroom message on the stream, individualized, like, "Hey,
Mhm.
y'all, it's me," like, and then I would make sure, like, same thing with the emergency lesson plans, it would be my voice that they heard. If I gave them a video that they had to watch, it would be a video of me that I had prepped, months back of like a lesson or something because they miss you too, and they're more likely to do things when it's you that's kind of like their air quotes.
Exactly.
It made a big difference rather than leaving them just any old ed puzzle to watch. Here's me teaching the lesson just like you
Mhm.
like it.
Right.
Stop, take the notes, Sarah. I'm talking to you. I know you ain't take the notes yet. Go back and rewind.
And
And the class would
also,
think it's
depending
funny.
on your age group. Now, I taught middle school and high school. My elementary teachers, I don't know if this will work for you, but my I left the lesson plans for them. I really didn't care who was in the classroom. I didn't care what adult was in there because they don't matter to me. My kids matter to me. So I would tell them these lesson plans are for you. I expect you to do this. I expect you. It's like if you know you're
Yes.
feeling sick at the end of the day and you're gonna leave. I would put the lesson plan on the board because this it's
Yep.
for you. Don't care what adults in here. Don't care if no adult shows up. You know the rules. You know what I expect. This is a conversation between me and
Yep.
you. And then I ended with "Love you much, Miss J," because they know I'm talking to
Yep.
you and I expect great from you. Yeah. So don't feel guilty if you don't
Eh,
feel well, or if you do feel well and you're just taking a day off. Don't feel guilty about
don't
it.
feel guilty either
Everything you
way.
do, everything you do is a teachable moment for a kid. Let them know that it's okay.
Yes. I think at one point I said we are their gateways for culture. Like we
Mhm.
teach them how to be people in the world. Show them what work-life
Exact
balance looks like.
Yeah. Don't show them that we
Yeah.
work till we die. Somebody showed us that.
Right.
Gen was it the baby boomers and Gen X? Not me, but other Gen X. We don't want that. We don't want you to work till you die. We don't want that to be your entire life. That's not what we're teaching them at all. So don't.
Mhm. Mhm.
Brandon,
I think that will
Brandon, I
wrap
think
us
we did.
up for today.
I think we paid paradise and put
We
up a
hope
parking
we
lot.
help.
Because it was a parking lot. It was a parking
Parking lot, baby.
lot.
Well, we hope this advice helped. Make sure that you leave us questions if you go to our website, thisain'tonthetest.com. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. You can drop us a line and leave us some questions underneath Hit the
And we
Teacher
would love
Tailgate,
it.
and we will be yes, we would love to answer more questions on our next Parking Lot Pimpin' episode. You got a little time before we dig up in the parking lot again, so hit the website, thisain'tonthetest.com, and leave us some questions. Mama, you wanna leave the peoples with
Yeah.
anything before we sign out for tonight?
We love talking to y'all, so keep talking to us. We are here to be a hope and a blessing to teachers,
Yes.
specifically newer teachers. We here to help. That's all.
Yes. We also have a monthly newsletter that just hit. Again, you can find it on the website in the blog section. You can see it on our socials. Just check out our Instagram, or our YouTube, or
Mm-hmm.
our TikTok, or our Facebook. It's on all of
All right.
those.
Bye.
And big
We
things are
everywhere.
coming down the pike now. Big things are going to be happening. So make sure you keep up on that newsletter. Sign up on the site, honey. Follow us on the
Come on.
socials,
Come
okay?
on. Come on. Come
Okay?
on. Come on.
This ain't nothing to
Okay.
test. This ain't nothing to
Hey,
test. This ain't nothing to
hey.
test with your host, Brandon and Beth.
Mi amor.
See y'all next time.